Okay, welcome to my second review on YouTube, which is actually a requested review from the Evil Genius 3, and it's obviously of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Season 1 and Second Gig Season 2, as you can tell from the title. So I'm going to get straight into it. Here we go. Firstly, the story. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be talking about the two series as if they are one, because I don't really have enough time to really review them separately. So basically, the story. It's called Standalone Complex for a reason. That's because there are standalone episodes and there are also complex episodes. If you've seen Witch Hunter Robin, that's probably the best series to compare it to, because in that series, there's a couple of unrelated episodes. Well, there's about 12. That's how the series starts, and then the last 14 or so episodes they're connected. They're the actual story. The first couple of episodes don't connect. They are standalone, and they're basically used for character development and introduction, things like that. While the story, the complex episodes, are the actual story when it finally gets there. It's done differently in Ghost in the Shell because, like in Witch Hunter Robin, the standalone episodes and the complex episodes are separated, but they are kind of mixed together in Ghost in the Shell. Like, we could get 3 standalone episodes, and then maybe 2 complex episodes, and then maybe another couple of standalone episodes, and another complex episode, and so on. It's good that they are mixed up, because I found that in Witch Hunter Robin it actually took me ages to finish the series because I couldn't really be bothered. Well, it's not that I couldn't be bothered, but I didn't really like watching separate episodes like again and again. I wanted the actual story, because I find, an actual story is better than separate episodes, unless you're watching something like Gintama, but that's just my personal preference. But anyway, even that said, the standalone episodes in Ghost in the Shell are brilliant. They're just as good as the complex episodes, really. So anyway, it's good that they are mixed up, because it really sets a nice pace, and it keeps the same level of enjoyment and entertainment throughout. So you're never like, oh, I don't really like this part now, I can't wait to get somewhere else. You're always like, wow, this is good, I wonder if it gets better. And not only does it get better, it consistently keeps getting better and better and better and better as the series nears its end, and that is apparent in both the first season and Second Gig. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's really good. It's always at its high, it never lets down, it never disappoints you. The series really does bring out the best in Ghost in the Shell. As for the stories themselves, I'm not going to go into detail, because there's standalone episodes and there's complex episodes. There's really a lot to explain, because there's a lot of different stories in there. But the complex story is pretty well. It's not the same, obviously, but it is pretty much the same premise in both seasons. You got Section 9, and they're basically tracking down the bad guy, who's like a hacker or a group of individuals in the second season. But the complex episodes, the actual story is fantastic. The intelligence in both the complex and the standard episodes is definitely there. It is most definitely Ghost in the Shell standard. Now onto the characters, which are the same as in the movies. The main difference in characters is probably with Motoko and Bato, because the personality in the series is it's drastically different than it is in the movies, really. I mean, Motoko in the movies, she is very much android-like. She has like a kind of robotic personality, because it obviously fits. She is an android, but in the series, she has more of a personality, and she's more human. She's able to joke around, laugh, and human attributes like that. The same kind of goes for Bato, because in the second movie especially, he's a very serious character, but in the series, he's kind of the same as Motoko. He laughs, he makes jokes. But that serious side of him is also there, but it's just not as big a part of him. The same goes for Motoko. I mean, her android-like self is still there, but it's not really the main focus. The change in personality is not a bad thing, because it really brings a new life to the series, a new aspect to Ghost in the Shell. And of course, this is a different director than the movies, and so I guess different interpretation. It's a nice new look on Ghost in the Shell, and it's nice to compare the two and see what you like best. So it works very well. I like the new characters. Well, they're the same characters, but I like their new personalities. Onto the animation, which is obviously more modern and up-to-date than the first movie, at least. And for a series, the quality is brilliant. I mean, when compared to most other series, it would come out on top easily. It's well above average. And that's all I can say about the animation. Really, it's just a really greatly animated series, and the whole setting, the whole Ghost in the Shell world, is so very much like it is in the movies as well. It's really expanded. You see a lot more of it, and it's just very enjoyable to look at, and it's a great animation. Moving on to music now, Origa did the opening themes for both seasons. The opening song in the first season is called Inner Universe, and the opening song in the second season is called Rise. Both songs are absolutely brilliant, and I will say the opening for the second season, second gig, is all around amazing. It is probably one of the best anime openings I've ever seen. It really is brilliant. And of course, the brilliant Yoko Kanno of Cowboy Bebop fame wrote and composed music for the series, the Ghost in the Shell series, so what more could you really ask for? I mean, the music really is at its best in this series. You might not expect it to live up to the movies because, budget constraints, and series don't, well, they sometimes do have brilliant soundtracks, but, movies tend to have better ones. So you might not expect it to live up to the movies, but it does indeed, and without trouble at all. The soundtrack is one of the best aspects of the series, probably. I found myself watching the openings pretty much every episode, which I don't usually do, so full marks for the music in Ghost in the Shell series. Just a few other thoughts. As I've mentioned, the intelligence from the movie is definitely in the series. It is most definitely Ghost in the Shell, which is absolutely great because Ghost in the Shell is very much known for its very profound story, and so if the series didn't have the same amount of intelligence in there, it just wouldn't be as good. So it's great that it does keep up to the movie. As I said before, it kept me entertained, it kept me compelled all throughout. It's always at its best, and it never lets up. It's always brilliant, which is a very great feat in anime, because I've watched many series that have started off great, but they've just progressed into, nothing really. They turn out to be, quite frankly, crap. And or series that started out crap and then got good, but as a result of the first few crap episodes, it hasn't been as good overall. But in Ghost in the Shell, it's always good, so overall it's fantastic. And the series is definitely one of the most thought-provoking ones out there. I've already mentioned the intelligence, but if you're a fan of Ghost in the Shell or the post-apocalyptic genre, cyberpunk, if you're a fan of intelligence series, if you like the movies, you're definitely going to like this series, so definitely check it out if you're a fan of those. And last thing, I'll end on this. I do love the series, but I'm going to have to say I do prefer the first movie to the series, but I think I like the series better than the second movie. So in order, first movie, series, and then second movie. And out of the series, I will say that I think second gig is better than first gig, but that's just my personal preference again. I'll let you decide what one you like best, but I'd give the first season 8.5 out of 10, and the second season 9 out of 10. So there you have it, two absolutely fantastic series that I definitely recommend, and one brilliant director. It's the same guy who directed Eden of the East recently, and Guardian of the Sacred Spirit. His name is Kenji Kamiyama, I think, and I don't just recommend Ghost in the Shell, I recommend all of his stuff, because they are all as good as each other, they're all well above average. So check out his series, and I hope to see more from this guy in the future, because already he's produced such great anime. So I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it was informative. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.